I read that you are a liberal.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be a liberal? What does that mean to you?
I believe in a couple things: strong institutions, a social safety net, and some level of valuing for kind of like social unity under core principles.
And how is it possible to be a Christian and a liberal?
If you think that these two things must be kind of hierarchically organized, that's probably an issue.
Liberals, they believe in socialism. They believe in free stuff, you know.
I don't know if Jesus was opposed to free stuff. I'm not a socialist. Not all liberals are the same, right? Like there's a lot of camps in the liberal space.
And what type of liberal are you?
I'm not the socialist type, that's for sure. I'm like a standard democracy, capitalist, lib. Yeah,
So
the leftists would say a liberal, a lib.
So you wouldn't fit, are you a feminist?
Yeah, not one that many own, but yes.
So are you a liberal feminist?
Am I a liberal feminist? Probably not. Because that's like do you know much about like the feminist civil war that's going on right now?
Not a lot, but they hate men and they want to take over.
I do. I think they all agree at least that we don't like Peterson, but yeah, there's a lot of factions. Some of them have a whole island. Like Britain is like the feminist space that doesn't like trans people. Yeah, there's a lot of infighting amongst feminists. So liberal feminist is like a specific label. I'm not a liberal feminist in like the feminist philosophical framework.
Are you a millennial or a Z?
I'm like the tail end of a millennial. I'm 31.
Oh, okay. And so how does your parents feel about you being a Christian and a liberal?
They're okay with it. Yeah. They're conservative, but they I think in Canada especially, our politics are very our faith is first and our politics are second. So we disagree on certain things, especially like politically, but it doesn't change like the unifying front that we like believe in the same God and the same faith, and that we worship the same God. So.
Oh, I see. And they know that you're a feminist liberal?
They do, yeah.
And do they complain about that or they accept it?
No, it's more like teasing and jokes. In Canada, politics is very different in Canada than America. Politics is like, in America, it's like your tribe. Whereas politics in Canada, we have like 7 parties federally, so it's pretty normal to vote. Like municipally, you vote NDP, and provincially, you might vote conservative, and federally, you might vote like liberal. So we're just a lot less like diehard on our parties, and I think that really changes the way that we experience politics compared to like Americans, where it seems like politics is very identity tied for Americans.
And how did you get so involved in politics, and why?
That's a good question. I think I've just always been very interested in learning. I love philosophy, and Aristotle is my favorite philosopher. And so he has this rule that politics is like one of the greatest forms of philosophizing. So I think I very naturally moved into politics because of my interest in philosophy. Yeah.
Would you ever run for office?
In America,
Yeah.
I can't. So
you
definitely
can
not.
in America, right?
Yeah.
Would you ever be interested in doing something like that? Even though
Probably
you can't do it in
not.
Canada, in America.
Probably not. No.
You have kids?
No.
Oh, okay. I noticed that ever since women have been allowed to vote, that everything just been screwed up and it's getting worse. Was it a mistake to allow women the rights to vote?
No, I think it's like the morally correct position. I think it is part of the American project. Agency is really, really important, both in our faith, choice is salvation, and in the American project. So, no, giving women the choice is good.
So was it a good thing or a bad thing to allow them to vote, though?
It's good. It's moral.
I'm sorry?
It's the good thing. It's the moral thing to do.
But why is it the moral thing? And when they were not, or a good thing, when they were not allowed to vote, America was amazing. But once they allowed them to vote, they want free health care. They want free babysitting services. They want us to pay for all that. They want to save the blacks, and they want daycare. They want us to pay for everything, and they always vote the wrong way because of their emotional and mental capability. They tend to be like unable to make the right decision because their psyche is not logical. And as a result, the country going to hell in a handbasket. Do you agree with that?
No. Do you think that America in 1880 is bigger, stronger, and more American than America in like the 1980s?
I think America was better before women had the right to vote than it is
So
today.
1880 America was better, even though Britain was a superpower.
It still was better than it is today. Because now that, if you notice, now that the women are allowed to vote, and there's, according to reports, more women than men, socialism is coming about, men's jobs are being taken away from them, men's children are being taken away from them because, of course, are on the side of the woman. And everything is insane because even cars are soft and they don't make noise anymore because the women complain about the noise.
It's probably more old people, but my suspicion. It's usually old people that make noise complaints, or people with young children versus women.
No, it's a woman's thing. Men love loud cars.
Why did God give us the right to choose? Why does he make salvation a choice?
God didn't give you the right to choose.
He did. He put the tree of evil. He made choice right from Adam and Eve.
Right. But that was only because he wanted man to know that he's not going to force you to love him. You have to love him or not love him. But what does that have to do with women voting?
Well, if God views choice as more important than sin, right? Because if he hadn't put the tree of good and evil in the garden, that we wouldn't have ever had a choice to do sin. And so if God valued our ability to choose, even though he knew we would choose wrong, who are we in the American project to say, okay, well, we know better, and actually we're going to take away people's right to choose because we're actually better than God in this way. It seems very directional with salvation, that agency is like the most important thing, because if you don't have choice, then it means that you are simply a slave to doing good things by necessity. And that isn't a good world at all. The person who can look at evil and look at good and choose good anyways, that's noble. And we need to make, like, God makes a space for us to do that, despite the fact that even with God, we choose wrong every single day.
But God only gave us one choice, and that choice is to come out of hell if we want. You can live in your misery all of your life, or you can realize, you know what, I'm tired of living in hell. And emotional people are living in hell, right? And so you decide, you know what, God, I'm tired of living this way. Help me out of it. That's the only choice you have. Or he'll just leave you in your hell. You have no other choice.
Well, I feel like even once you choose God, like Christians still do sin, right?
But they don't choose God. But what does that have to do with women voting, though? That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's about choice, right? The reason why I think women voting is good is because it's giving them more choice.
But women don't make choices. They don't know how to make the right choice because they're so emotional.
So women can't sin?
They're so women are so emotional and illogical, they can't make the right choice. Have you noticed that?
But I guess I'm asking, like, if women can't choose, then they can't sin. They're just kind of like
I don't know
robots.
what that had to do with that.
Well, sin is about choice, right? Like if I steal cookies and my parents go, Kyla, did you steal cookies? And I go, no, I've made a choice to lie to my parents in that moment, right?
No.
No?
The only choice that a human being has is to whether they want to come out of their misery. If you realize, you know what, I don't like living this way, I'm unhappy, I'm miserable, or I have fear and all that, I want out. That's the only choice you make. You never make a choice in your whole life after that. And you're not making a choice before that.
So is God making you sin when you are a Christian who acts in sin? Christians sin, right?
What does that have to do with women voting? I'm trying to understand that.
Choice, right? Like God, You said God only allows you to have one choice. And it's like, well, no, God, even when you choose him, he actually asks you to choose him every single day, bear your
No,
cross every day, right? And so
no.
God allows us to choose constantly. He's constantly allowing us the space to choose to sin or not to sin, even as Christians, every single day. That's why we need him every day. We don't need God once in our life. We need God every single day because we have the choice to do noble or ignoble. And if God
That's not true what
values
you're
choice to that
saying.
level, we probably should too.
So, so I guess you're not going to answer the question about what is that. Since women are so illogical, emotionally and mentally, they can't make the right decision. Why would they be given the right to vote when they don't know what they want?
I guess I'm saying to you, I think women can make choices. I think women can sin. I think women make choices all the time. You might not agree with the choices that they make, but for us to call their actions wrong, we either have to say, well, they're just meat robots that can't help but doing evil things, or we have to
Right.
say women are choosing bad things. But if they're robots, then they're more like children. We don't get like mad at children for like doing the wrong thing when they don't know better. We like teach them better. But I don't view women that way. I think women are adults that can make choices. They can make bad choices and good choices. I just believe in a system where we allow them to make those choices, including allowing them to make bad choices, because I think that's what's modeled for us in our faith.
Do you agree with me that the God above is the man's God and the God below, Satan, is the woman's God?
No, I think God made all of us in his image.
That's not what I asked her. I know he made all of us, but do you agree? Did the woman come from God or from the man?
She came from his rib, but I don't think Adam made her, right? Eve was made by God and he put his breath into her.
But did she come from the man or did she come from God?
Genuinely, I think God created humanity. So
That's not what I'm
God.
asking though, but did the woman come from the man or from God?
She came from God.
No. Did the man come from God or the woman?
God.
I'm sorry?
Man comes from God too.
And the woman came from who? Whom?
God.
No.
She came from his rib.
Right,
Well, Adam didn't make Eve. Like, I don't think men are not God.
But did God take the woman out of the man and created her?
God did, yeah.
And so she's created in his image.
In God's image, yeah.
No, the man's image.
Well, we have breasts. We have
The
we're
man is
literally not
created-
made in his image.
The man is created in God's image, and the woman is created in the man image. Am I right?
Well, I feel like men and women are really different, right?
They are. But
So if we were made in man's image, then he did a bad job of making us look like men. We're pretty different. I feel like we are made by God, and God made us
But you
different
may
to
feel
complement
that
one
way,
another.
but did the woman come from man or did she come from God?
God.
No.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't think that human beings, even man, is creating life in the way that God is. God breathed
God
life
gave the
into
life to
beings.
the woman. God took the woman from the man's body and created her, but he created the woman in the man's image and created God in his image.
Then why do they look so different?
They don't.
If she's made man
One
and
is
women look very
softer.
different.
If you look, women are created like men. They have breasts like a man. They just made to have babies, so they get milk, all those kind of things that men don't
Yeah,
get. But the
they're really
woman is
different.
created in the man's image, and he is created in God's image. So is Satan? Did you know that the woman God is the God from below, and the man's God is the God from above?
I don't think that that's a Christian belief. No,
And why not?
I would say that that's heretical. No,
It's taught
that's
in
not
the
true.
Bible why it's not a Christian belief.
Because women and man are both made by God. God calls both women and men to act in his image, and both of them can achieve salvation by faith in him. This is obvious by women being Deborah, women being used by God multiple times, Deborah the priestess. Like there's multiple
But
instances in which
Deborah
God is.
was led by men. She didn't make her own decision. That men instructed her on the decisions to make. But let me ask this about
That's not true.
about the
That's not true
woman
about Deborah.
being about the woman God. remember in the Bible, in the Word, where once upon a time Adam had a relationship with God, and then his wife Eve loved him, had a relationship with him, and all three were one because the woman believed in the husband who believed in the father. You know about that, right?
It sounds like when you read the Bible, God was engaging with both of them. When they were found in sin, both were ashamed of their nudity. It seems like God had a relationship with both of these individuals. I don't think
Well,
God only engaged with
he
Adam.
did, but it was through the husband that he had the relationship with the wife.
I don't
Because
know. I don't think that there's biblical
the
evidence for
husband
that.
Adam and the father were one. And when they married, the woman became one with the husband, which was one with God. And then one day, the woman had to go shopping. And she went to the market and she ran up on Satan. And Satan had already tried to tempt Adam, and Adam said, no, get out of here, not going to listen to the lie.
I don't think there's any
And
biblical evidence
so
that
the
Adam had been tempted first.
The woman went to the market and she met Satan there. And Satan was like, hey, Eve, how are you? She's like, fine. And he asked her, you still with that man? And she like, yeah, I am. I love my husband. And he like, you could be your own woman. You don't have to listen to that man. She's like, no. Long story short, she went home, made dinner. They were having dinner, she and Adam. And she like, I saw Satan today at the market. And Adam like, stay away from him. He's trying to deceive you. Don't believe the lie. And she's like, okay. And then she went back a second time, another time. And she ran into Satan again. And Satan said to her, Adam, you still with that woman? I mean, Eve, you still with that man? Like, yeah. Don't listen to him.
Is this all in like the Mormon book? I don't think I've read this in the Bible,
like,
but maybe it's in the Mormon Bible.
He
I'm
listened
not sure.
to his father. He's not even his own man. You could be your own woman. You could take your bra off. You could do what you want. And she believed that lie. And the moment she believed that lie, she no longer believed her husband. They became separated. And Satan became her God. And then Adam couldn't believe it. Like, what have you done, Satan? Eve, you listen to the devil. Now you can't believe the truth. You don't obey me anymore or anything. And then Eve became very puffed up because now she know about evil and good. So she finally convinced Adam, you don't have to listen to your father. You could be like me. You can know good and evil. You can judge. You can play God and everything. And Adam listened to the woman, and then the woman became his God, because he could no longer believe the father. And father like, what have you done, Adam? He's like, well, you gave me that woman. I listened to that woman. And he said, well, because you listened to the woman, you're going to suffer. And so every time the man listens to his woman today, he suffers. And then the evil that come through to the children come through the woman, because her nature, until she's truly born again of God, her nature is evil, because she has no love, and it's passed on to the children, generation after generation after generation. Have you noticed that as a Christian?
Maybe there's a new version of the Message that I haven't read, but I don't remember that
read
being Genesis, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I understand that. Read Genesis. It's in the fall of Adam and Eve.
I don't remember anything about dinner.
You would see where Satan is the woman's God and the God above. Well, until that man overcome the woman is his God. That's why men don't know what to do with women, because they got to overcome mama, forgive their mother so they can come back to the father. So that's why read that, so you'll see, since you're a Christian, you will see why Satan is the woman's God and evil come through the woman.
I think if any notable actual religious leader had come to that conclusion, I might be open to you. I don't think anyone theologically agrees with you. But again, maybe I haven't read the new version. I don't know if this is like the Mormon Bible or the Message or something.
It's not the new version. It's in the King James Bible.
This is not Genesis, right?
What is a notable? What did you say? Notable what?
Theologian?
What's a notable theologian?
Somebody that's respected typically in the field and study of like theology. They've probably got like a PhD in theology. They've probably gone to seminary. The Catholics have a system by which they kind of develop a theological kind of like seminary system. Protestants have their own system, but kind of somebody who rises through the ranks in there
But
to study the Bible.
those people wouldn't know God if you had lunch with them. They're
So you don't.
intellectually separated from God. And an intellectual person cannot know God. They can know about him, they can read about him and talk about him, but they can't know him.
So pastors don't know God?
No.
Oh,
Have you noticed
right.
that?
I disagree. So
Why?
I think there's a lot of really godly people in this world. I think there's a lot of good thinkers that God tries to speak through. And
Really?
yeah,
Were
absolutely.
women created to lead or to follow?
I think originally to be like kind of like a support character in the relationship. I think that that's like shifted over time though.
So were they created to lead or to follow?
I think I said they were probably created originally to be, I think he said complementary to Adam, right? Adam can't bear children. Men tend to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit less good at building relationships and community. So I think Eve was built to complement all of the weaknesses that man has.
And so were women created to lead or to follow?
Neither.
I'm sorry?
Neither.
Neither. And is it,
Oh, well, I guess follow. Well, follow in the same way that I think Adam was built to follow, I suppose.
follow who?
God.
And the woman is supposed to follow the
God.
man.
God.
Uh,
If a woman is putting man over God, that's a problem. God has to come first for every single person.
But a woman that has put God first will naturally obey and follow her husband without any contest.
I think there's a lot of good reasons for why women engage in submission with their husbands. Yeah.
Um, Speaking of women leaders, have you noticed that ever since they put women in leadership role in our government, in churches, even in the home when the father's not there to guide her how to raise the children, have you noticed that everything get worse? Because the
Nope.
man is the light of the family. If he's not there, the woman can't find her way in raising children or anything. Have you noticed in America and around the world, when they allow women to be in a leadership role, things only get worse?
I haven't found that to be consistently true, but I think in general, women are not taught and reared in general to be uh, like efficient in leadership. I think in general, we teach boys how to lead in a way that we often don't teach young girls to lead. So in
But
many ways, I think women can be weaker leaders, but there are still like good female leaders.
but men are not taught to be leaders. It's natural. It's in the DNA. It comes naturally. You have to teach a woman how to be a leader, but because she wasn't created to be a leader, it doesn't work. She tried to make herself be something she can't be. Have you noticed that?
So you think that like Joe Biden was a good leader
Who?
as a man? Joe Biden
Joe
as a
Biden?
man. Yeah, was
Joe
he a good
Biden
leader?
didn't even know he was
He's a man.
president.
Well, he's a man. If they're
But
innately
he didn't
made to
have the
lead.
right mindset, so that's different.
Oh, okay. So we should just pick Obama
How
then.
about the
Let's pick.
Great White Hope?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know the Great White Hope?
Nope.
They call him king.
Are we talking about Trump? All I'm guessing is we're talking about Trump.
They say, what manner of man is this? The wind and sea obeys him. They call him daddy. Would you say and I call him the Great White Hope. Donald Trump, would you say he's a good leader?
Uh, no. I think like
No?
no. Yeah, I'll say no. End at no.
And why no?
I think the fact that basically none of his staff from his first term wanted to come back and work with him indicates that his staff distrusted him, disliked him, didn't respect him. There's something going on that made none of them willing to come back.
So Donald Trump is there now. He's been there for a minute. Do you think he's a good leader?
No.
And why not?
I think that he's leading the country towards greater levels of disunity.
Of what?
Of disunity,
Meaning what? What do you mean by that?
meaning that like a divided America is a broken America.
When has America been, in the last 70 years, when has America been one, united?
Under Jimmy Carter, there was
No,
some
it
good stuff.
wasn't.
Under Reagan,
Not true.
there was Yeah,
Not
there was a lot
true.
of unity
Not
under
true.
Reagan. There was a fair bit of unity that emerged under Bush for a while. Like we don't achieve perfect
There,
unity
that's not
for
true.
a de
What
It
the?
is true. Under
What?
Bush
What?
initially, there was a lot of uniting under him. The issue is that the Iraq war became a major issue in his presidency, and he had a lot of fracturing, not just from the left, from the right as well, right? So there has been great bouts of unity, and I think it's good when the country unites.
What is Donald Trump doing? But the country has not been united in a long time.
I
Good and
agree. That's
evil
bad.
would never unite at all.
Sure, and they shouldn't. I just think that most people are a mixture of both things, and a good leader aims to pull out the good that exists
And you
in
don't
all
see
people.
Donald Trump doing that?
He's pretty antagonistic with anybody who opposes him, including his own teams, right? He wants to
No,
fire
that's
Jerome
not right.
Powell. Well, he wants to fire Jerome Powell, who he hired.
That guy's against Trump. He should get rid of his enemies.
Why?
Why
It's your,
would you
it's
keep
your,
your enemy in your home?
I would certainly keep them potentially, people who counter my opinion, I would absolutely keep on my business board, for example. Otherwise, your enemies and people who oppose you are some of the most gifted at seeing your flaws
Not
and
true.
pointing out areas that you need. Of
Not
course, it is
true.
true.
No.
I believe in not just talking to people of opposite viewpoints, but seeing the strengths of
Yeah.
people with the opposite view. Do you disagree that you shouldn't talk to people of different mindsets?
No, you should talk to I talk to anyone all the time, anytime. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't have if I know that they're my enemy and I'm working to make things better, ain't no way I keep my enemy in my company. That doesn't make sense. Why does that make sense to you?
I think if everyone who disagrees with you becomes an enemy, you're probably the common denominator.
See, that's why you can't have women as leadership. They're emotional. But let me
What's
ask,
emotional about that?
they can't make the right decision. You would keep your enemy in your company. And that makes sense to you.
I would keep my opposition in
and
my
that makes
company.
sense to you to keep your enemy in your company.
I would definitely, there's an old war law that you definitely want to keep your enemy closest because you want to know what they're up to.
So
But
it
I
makes
don't think
sense
Jerome
to you
Powell,
to keep your enemy in your company.
well, the issue is you're framing anyone who disagrees with you as your enemy. I don't think somebody who disagrees with me is my enemy.
We're talking
They
about
actually
this
might
one
be
particular guy. Does it make
Jerome
sense
Powell,
to keep your
but
enemy
it's
in
everyone.
your company?
Well, it's
In
the
your
chief
business.
of Bureau of Labor Statistics. It seems like everyone
You're
who
not answering
disagrees
that
with Trump-
question.
Sorry, what was your question?
This guy is Trump's enemy.
Jerome Powell?
And knowing that he is his enemy, should he keep him in his administration?
Why is Jerome Powell his enemy?
Would you call him friend?
At least ally. Yeah, I think Jerome Powell loves America and wants to see it thrive. I think that his economic leadership, I mean, he's part of the major reason that we pulled out of COVID economically so strong. Jerome Powell believes in America. He's deeply
Amazing.
American. I mean, Trump picked him.
That's
Right?
amazing. So
Do you
let me
think that Trump
ask.
picked wrong? Like Trump was a fool when he picked Jerome Powell?
Let me ask. Do you agree with Trump that he shut the borders down and now the illegals can't come in and he's shipping all the illegals back to wherever they came from? You agree with that?
Is there any way are you going to answer my questions or is this only one way? If it is only one way, that's okay. I just want to know.
Do you agree with Trump that he shut down the borders and shipping the illegals back?
I think there was an immigration crisis, and I think the left laid in a big fat hammock and neglecting it. So immigration reform was necessary. I definitely don't agree with abandoning due process.
Do you agree with the Great White Hope that he closed the borders down and he's shipping illegals back to wherever they came from? He's out there collecting them and shipping them back. Do you agree with that?
The way that he's doing it by violating due process, no.
Illegals
But I agree with
illegals don't
illegals
have
being-
due process in America. How can you be a criminal in this country and have due process? That doesn't even make sense.
Do you think that if I'm
Due process is for
French-
citizens of the country.
No, if I get murdered in America, even if I'm a non-American citizen, I still get due process, right? My family still can call the police. They'll still investigate who murdered me, even if my murderer was an American citizen, right? This is obviously true.
Are you happy with the Great White Hope that he shut the borders down and sending illegals back to their country?
I'm okay with the borders being shut down. I disagree with removing due process.
And why?
I think due process is a miracle of the American project. I think it was a rarity. It's what America led on in many ways, America and the Western development. It's incredible. Being
When did an
assumed,
illegal alien that entered into our country illegally, breaking the law, get due process?
because that's how the law works. And I believe
That
in
doesn't
the
work that
American
way
law.
for criminals, illegals.
Yes, it does.
No, it
Criminals
doesn't.
in America also get due process, right?
No.
You get assumed.
He can
not
put them
guilty
on a
until
plane
proven
and ship
otherwise.
them back. He can pick them up at Costco today, put them on a plane today, and ship them right back where they came from, and he would be right.
I think that's a violation of the American Constitution. I
It's
think
not a
that's bad thing to do.
violation for illegal alien. What the?
As a Canadian, if I get
See, this
if
is why
somebody-
women shouldn't be voted. They're too emotional.
what's emotional about this?
You're not making logical decisions.
How is that not logical?
You think
What's
due
lo-
process
what's bad
for
about due
illegals-
process?
You think due process is for criminals in our country that came here illegally deserve,
Yes, criminals get due
under the
process.
Constitution, they deserve due process.
So if I, as a Canadian national, am murdered in America, do I get due process for justice for my murder?
That's not the subject that I'm asking about. I'm asking about illegal aliens that
I'm
come.
asking about
Are you
foreign-
here illegally?
Yeah. Yeah, foreign, even illegal foreign
Are
nationals
you
get due
here
process.
illegally?
No, I am not here illegally.
So why
I'm
would
here
you apply that to you?
because you're saying that non-citizens don't get due process, or
That's
you're
not
saying that criminals don't get due process, but both criminals and non-nationals get due process.
See, this is
And
why
you're talking
women
about
should
people-
not be running.
Well, I think I'm being more logical than you right now.